and welcome to 5-inch Floppy on GameArena.com.au. I'm Junglist. Over in that crazy land called Japan, there is a personality crazier than the rest. I speak of Goichi Suda, auteur of such games as Killer 7 and No More Heroes. His is a divisive brand of game. You love it or you hate it. And as much as we love Suda in real life, he's a champ, we haven't really been a fan of his games. No More Heroes is a perfect example. You kind of get the feeling that Suda is trolling you the entire time, having you perform mundane tasks like mowing the lawn and picking up trash. It's a weird kind of humor where instead of creating laughs for the player, the creator is laughing at the player. Some people eat it up. It's like getting a wedgie and then just saying, haha, nice one, guys. In last year's Shadows of the Damned, Suda's personality was present, but someone else was designing the combat, so it was kind of balanced, in that way that you can balance on the edge of a diving board, very nearly going too far. 1 year later, and Suda is back, with Lollipop Chainsaw.
And on my birthday, too!
Yes, it's a zombie stomp, where instead of saving the princess, you are the princess, and you have to save your boyfriend. Or what's left of him.
How am I still alive? How am I still talking without a fucking thorax?
Ah, romance. It's like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, except all crass and no class. In the words of the game's writer, James Gunn,
I think of Lollipop Chainsaw as the old boy meets girl, girl falls in love, boy becomes disembodied head.
I'm like the only girl with a decapitated head for a boyfriend.
Our hero Juliet never gets an ounce of blood on her, and after searching the internet for a while, we found out why.
A friend turned me on to Zombie Gone, a brand new detergent from Lollipop Chainsaw, specially formulated to get out even the toughest brain matter stains.
Instead of blood effects, you get pink hearts and sparkles. Instead of a badass kill animation, she goes into party mode. It's a jolly juxtaposition that should prove hilarious to the simple-minded for all of about 1 hour. After that point, it'll need the combat to save it. Normal combat is a bit underwhelming in Lollipop Chainsaw. There's a high and low chainsaw attack. These are slow and prone to being interrupted. Then you've got faster attacks that help stun zombies so you can have time to get your chainsaw out. It's all purposeful. It knows how difficult it wants to be at all times. If there are 5 zombies on screen at once, it'll hold back a bit until you kill a few, and then unleash 7 more, steadily increasing the challenge. It's all very deliberate. But with an evade move that basically makes you invincible if used right, and combos that kill multiple zombies in one hit, we found the normal zombie combat a bit repetitive. Intended difficulty was irrelevant. Just pick an effective combo and mash it. A tactic that remains effective even with lots of zombies on screen. In the meantime, this will be a typical Suda game in which you feel like he's trolling you the whole way through. Case in point, using Comic Sans at every opportunity. Suda fanboys might try to convince you that this is genius-level social commentary or some kind of anti-art. No, this is a guy in a bar thinking, what if I make a game about a cheerleader with a chainsaw that kills zombies with as many upskirt shots as possible for pixelated poontang? It's got all the depth of a handful of dick jokes delivered with the subtlety of a jackhammer.
Come between him and my mom. She is so cool. It's because of her, my sisters and I all wear our vaginas crossed. God, she and I just love each other so much.
Vagina? We do have to give it points for its pacing though. There's always something new and gratuitous right around the corner, be that just another upskirt or a whole new minigame.
One-sided game. Yes, 3 points.
What do we have here this time? Basketball?
There's never a shortage of moments where you're a little shocked at how far they take it. A lot of it will fall flat, but when the gags come this thick and fast, you're bound to find something funny.
It's Mr. Fitzgibbon.
Keeping with the positives, it seems that every part of the game that is genuinely cool, all of the real imagination, has concentrated itself like a funnel into the game's boss fights. These music-themed psychedelic confrontations feature some pretty cool art, and are a break from the core gameplay, which is really just mashing a lot of buttons. They're still not very hard, but interesting to look at, and really the only fun parts of the game. It's a running theme. The boss fights were really the only good bits in No More Heroes too. But this here is way more over the top. It takes some twisted minds to think of this stuff. And that brings us to Endgame. An anatomically A+ cheerleader flipping around in a skirt and a sports bra hanging on for dear life? That's so Japanese. Some of it'll make you chuckle, a lot of it'll make you shake your head and roll your eyes. At times it seems like it would have been more fun to make than play. But as for the gameplay, there's a lot of very polished combat that never quite reached the bar for us, instead serving as large helpings of filler for the outstanding boss fights.
Lollipop, lollipop, oh lolly, 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 lollipop, lollipop, oh lolly, 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 lollipop, lollipop, oh lolly, 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 lollipop, a lollipop.